We want to make this about you, man.
Okay.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. You're into bodybuilding. I got to get to your level at some point. You got to tell us not only how you got into this, how you built up a YouTube channel to a pretty substantial amount, how you've turned that into a business of bodybuilding, and then also how Jack and I could get in shape. And how the viewer, how we could get 6-minute abs.
And how you're here, because you're our neighbor.
Yes.
Exactly.
Actually.
Yeah. Okay, so it started off in 2007. In my junior year of college, me and my buddy, we didn't really quite know what YouTube was just yet. I was about to transfer from a JC to UCLA. My other buddy was also transferring from a community college into a 4-year. And he sent me this video on YouTube, and he drew like 2 eyeballs on his chin, and he filmed just this much upside down.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And he was like telling this sad story about how his dog died, but it's a comedy video.
Yeah.
He sent it to me and through AIM, and I thought it was like the most
AOL Instant Messenger.
Yeah, and I thought it was
I love that. Yeah.
I thought it was the most hilarious thing I've ever seen. So I recorded another video called Uncle Sam Gets Jacked, and I did it in my bathroom, and I poured contact solution on my eyes, pretending like I was crying, and I sent it back to him. And we thought like YouTube was like Photo Bucket, where it's just a place that stores content. And both of our videos started getting like 300 views, 500 views, 800 views. And then we're like, oh, there's other people that are like watching this. That's
Who
not
leaked the video.
that's just not between you and me, you know?
Yeah.
And then we'd read the comments. You guys got to make more. And it's one of those things where I think like the stars aligned, where we're in the middle of transferring. So there's not much to do that summer. So we just decided to dedicate that summer to making all kinds of like weird comedic sketches. And we actually really fell in love with it. So we created a channel called Just Kidding Films. And that's 2007. And it's like all comedy sketches. And so fast forward to probably like maybe like 2011 or 2012, after all of our shoots. Like we were shooting, at least what we were trying to shoot was like Key and Peele, a Chappelle Show type stuff. So there's high production. There's always locations and cast and stuff. And after we shoot, we always have like these parking lot discussions with our friends, and we're just cracking up for like 4 hours. And we're like, we need to shoot this. So we created a roundtable talk show called Just Kidding News. Both of those channels ended up getting to like 1 million each. And from that point on, people have always seen me like, I guess, look a little bit more built. So they're like, oh, like Bart, like put out your fitness programs, or like, how do you train? And I'm like, I'm not a personal trainer. I just like lifting for myself. But I was like, you know what, I can show you, I guess, my journey. So I started a fitness channel just to kind of have people come along. And that kind of started to take off a little bit. And I was like, you know what, I feel like I'm pretty strong in the gym. Like, how strong am I compared to like the rest of the state or whatever? So I signed up for this thing called powerlifting. I didn't even really know what it was. I just wrote like Google strength competition or whatever. Powerlifting came up, and you compete in the squat, the bench, the deadlift. And so I signed up for my very first powerlifting meet. And I think that kind of gave it like I guess like a little viral catalyst. Because at that time, it's anything that was journey based on YouTube was very intriguing to people. So I signed up, I competed, I did pretty good. And I was looking for a powerlifting gym, and I couldn't find one in LA. And I pitched to my friends, like we had our JK office already. I'm like, what if I just get like a container, fill it up with equipment, and we just all train in there? And overnight, like 20 of my buddies were like, well, I'll chip in. And I'm like, oh, wait, if I can get 20 people overnight, maybe we can get like members, like I don't know how many members I can get to cover the rent. So me and my wife, we literally went to Barnes and Noble, and we found like a how to write a business plan book. And the one that we chose was one where like after every chapter, there's a worksheet. So if you fill out the worksheet at the end of every chapter, you technically have a business plan. So we're like, let's just do that, and we'll do like an hour a day, because we're like full-time doing JK. Yeah. We're like, we'll do that an hour a day. None of us know how to open a brick and mortar. Let's see what happens. And we finished the whole book, and we went to the city, got like, permitting, like the right zoning and all of that. And then we started a crowdfund on our website. And in 2 weeks, we got 100 members. And that was enough for us to break even. So I'm like, okay, if we can break even, and this is a side project anyways, then I get like a free gym to train in. So we open, and that kind of took off. became its own gym. We moved to downtown LA where we have over 400 members now. It's like a 6,000 square foot warehouse. And then we built like a fitness apparel and supplements and all of that stuff like on top of that. So now there's like these two like main babies, and that's kind of like the two of the things I'm most involved in the most.
I had no idea about any of this.
Oh, really?
That's
No.
incredible. You've been successful in everything that you've put your mind to.
I got super lucky because that's what we always talk about. Because I have other buddies that are in like the apparel industry, and they're like, dude, I had 5 failed t-shirt businesses before this one took off. And I'm like, I don't know, maybe you just got the good people around me or something. Yeah.
What got you into fitness to begin with? Where did that start?
So that's actually funny because I got into fitness back in, I would say, like 1999 or 2000. So I'm 37.
Okay.
And back in like the late 90s, early 2000s, like the stuff that you hear on the radio was like Tupac, Biggie. It was like super like gangster. Everything was gangster. So usually most people get into fitness through like health and wellness. I got into it because all of my homies, older brothers just got out of jail. And that's the thing that we did. We just lifted in the garage and smoked cigarettes, which is kind of like opposite to fitness.
Where'd you grow up?
So I grew up in LA, but in the San Gabriel Valley.
Okay.
And at that time, it was like the Asian gang capital of the world. It's a little bit different now.
Now it's quite nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But before it was like Asian gang capital of the world. So I got into lifting through the guys that were trained in jail. Yeah.
And what happened with your original YouTube channel? Like, when do you continue to make content for it? Did you stop making content for it? Was it profitable at the time?
Yeah. So at one given time, I think we were super maxed out. We had JK Films, which is sketch comedy. We had this one called Ask the Feels, where we actually have callers call in. And then that was a kind of like a relationship and also sex, like fun talk type of channel. We had JK Party, which is a game show channel. Then we have Barbell Brigade, which is like the fitness channel, and had a personal vlog. So at one given point in time, I had 5 of those channels going, and we were just so burnt out from that I think once we hit our like max bandwidth, we started to dial back down. So one of the first things that went was Ask the Feels, because that was just more like for shits and giggles and fun. Yeah. But the second one that went was Just Kidding Films. And that one kind of hurt a little bit because that was kind of like the start of it all. But with like the YouTube algorithm changing, it just didn't make sense to put almost like 2 or 3 weeks of pre-production, production, post-production into a video and then post it. And we have to do this like 1 week cycles. So it's almost like trying to produce like Chappelle Show level skits when you don't have that kind of team.
Yeah.
You know, like those guys, they could be, if Dave Chappelle's not in all the videos, they could be shooting all 5 videos at the same time, you know, different locations, whatever. For us, it's like all hands on deck for every single video. And we were just so burnt out from that. So unfortunately, that was the one that, the second one that we had to shut down. And it still gets good views, but that's not something we're active on.